episode of Sequel Rights, the podcast where we take a look at the franchises that make you go, they made how many of those? And we give each and every sequel a fair trial. My name is Justin Camps, and I'm here with...
Elizabeth Halley.
And...
Tyler Dalton Hyman.
Okay, all right.
You wish.
And we have a very special guest with us tonight. Some say he's the best friend a good time ever had. Josh Briggs!
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here at the Double Deuce.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all got our drinks at the Double Deuce.
We got to drink the Double Deuce. We're here in Jasper.
Yeah, and we're about
Missouri.
to get rowdy. Because this week we're talking about Roadhouse, the Patrick Swayze film from 1989. Everyone loves it. Mm-hmm. But we do have a couple Roadhouse newbies here.
Yeah. I didn't even know anything about this movie.
This is my first time seeing it.
Oh, my God.
And Eliz, I believe.
I never even heard of it, yeah.
I'm so glad to hear you guys say that. I had seen it once before, but this is not one of my movies. This is one of those, I think, that is a movie that for a lot of people, it's one of their movies.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of my movies.
Yes, all right.
We got one right here. All right, so we got the whole gamut of people. We got the whole gamut. Well, as we do, why don't we take a look at that Roadhouse trailer?
Can I buy you guys a drink? Guess not.
Patrick Swayze is
Dalton.
I thought you'd be bigger.
Opinions vary.
When he's around, anything can happen,
How does a guy like you end up a bouncer?
Just lucky, I guess.
and usually does.
If somebody gets in your face, I want you to be nice.
Don't be rude!
Ask him to walk, but be nice.
Help this gentleman to the door.
Until it's time to not be nice.
So says the fighting philosopher.
He may be hard to handle,
I keep talking, you're gonna go on thinking I'm a nice guy.
I know you're not a nice guy.
but he's easy to like.
What's the matter, Dalton? Don't you like women?
The worst I ever had was wonderful.
He's not what you'd expect.
I thought you'd be bigger.
But there's one thing you can count on. He's the best friend a good time ever had.
Hey, Tyler. Hey.
Yeah.
You see that guy over there?
Yeah.
You see that guy?
Yeah.
That's Dalton.
Oh, shit, Dalton?
That's Dalton, bro.
I thought he would be bigger.
I heard he killed a guy.
I heard he killed a guy. Oh, bullshit.
If you wanted a movie where middle-aged people are pretending like they're in their 20s and that they're cool, this is the movie for you. If you wanted to see 38-year-old dudes wearing polo shirts pretending like they're badasses, this is the movie for you. If you wanted to see Patrick Swayze in a shirt that has collars that don't make any sense, this is the movie for you.
Yeah, I felt it was so of the time. That shirt was like a... It was like a gi, right?
It was like a gi that you could golf in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Accurate.
It was all like all the clothes he wear were so silky in the beginning.
And in the first bar, when you first see him, his pants are like palazzo, like giant pants, like he's
like he could get
he's
taken
the
away.
harem. Yeah, like
taken away by a windstorm.
Yeah.
Will he dance or will he fight? Will he fight dance? We will not know.
No, we don't know. So, yes, this movie gives you, it's ever so often where you get to see a piece of cinema that gives you insight into a type of life that you just don't know before. And this gets us into the world of high-level cooling.
I didn't even know what that was. I was like,
because you know why? It's not a thing.
Oh, okay.
This whole movie, I was like, this movie is so fucking weird. Like, did they just come up with this idea?
Like elite bouncers from all
travel the countryside, looking for
like Ronin warriors in times of old.
Yeah. I have a question. So, like, those guys, when everyone's like, I actually wanted to ask a friend who's like in the bar business, like, would anybody know, well, you just said it's not real, so I guess maybe that answers my question, but I want to know, like, would they even, like, would he be an expert? Like, because certainly within certain industries, people know, like, names that no one else knows, maybe.
Sure.
But do you think Dalton, the name of Dalton, is really going around, or they just know him because he maybe killed a guy?
they know him because he killed a guy.
He's like a consultant.
I mean, the idea of the cooler, which is a thing, is a bouncer who can diffuse situations without just being a big guy. Right, so like he's like the bouncer general.
Well, yeah,
there's a William H. Macy movie of the same name.
Oh yes,
right?
and it's very good. Where he's incredibly unlucky and sits at gambling tables to ruin people's hot streaks.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like when I was looking up the word cooler, it all just came up about gambling and like, are coolers in Vegas a real thing? And what you were saying about like people knowing bouncers, I went on Wikipedia has a list of notable bouncers. Oh, anyone want to guess who's on top of the list? I bet you won't be able to guess. No, he's on the list, but he's not number one.
What?
What? Well, like pop? You mean like fictional?
No,
bouncers?
These are like real.
Oh, they're real.
I mean,
life
but
ones?
Patrick Swayze's on the list.
Oh, okay.
Huh. Okay, so this is someone who was a bouncer. Was like The Rock a bouncer?
That was my first
That's
thought.
a good guess. But
Yeah.
He was, I don't think he's on the list. No.
Was it a wrestler?
He's number. Dave Bautista is number 2.
Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel is number 4.
Oh.
So just name any random beefy dude.
You just want to know who's number 1?
Schwarzenegger.
No.
Lou Ferrigno.
Nope. You're not gonna guess.
Dolph
You're not
Lundgren.
Okay, just tell us.
gonna- The number 1
George
is
W. Bush.
number 1 on the list is Pope Francis.
What?
Apparently, he was a bouncer in Buenos Aires before he started doing the seminary.
Oh my god!
I was like, what? That's crazy.
Now
He
he's
must
just
have been
bouncing
like a
people out of
cooler.
purgatory. 1, 2.
He was Dalton. He was like, no, you don't want to fight here.
Yeah.
He's like, just turn the other cheek. You know, like...
The devil's ultimate cooler.
Pope. Oh my God. Let's make a Roadhouse 3 with Pope Francis.
Oh my god!
I think he'd be down for that. Let's call him up.
Yeah.
I got
The
his phone
Devil
number.
Deuce. Not in my house.
Oh God.
So yeah, he's going around to different bars, fixing them and getting
least
rid of the
2 that we
riffraff.
know of.
Yeah.
He's like the Mary Poppins of bars. He comes in when the wind changes, and then he leaves like when everything's good. Yeah.
So equally kind of shitty bedside manner too, right? Like, he's not likable as a person.
Yeah. I love these 2 opening scenes where like both opening scenes are just him like, watching a bar for a really long time.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really fun, like just to see everything that was going on in the scene, like
All the different rhythms. And,
Yeah.
and as a cooler, you have to be tapped into
we get
the
to see
rhythms
how
of the
he's
bar.
totally mastered this one bar casino, and then he goes and sees like what he's got his work cut out for at the
That's
Double
right.
Deuce.
That's right. So yeah, he's a cooler at a top bar in New York City, and then this random guy from the Midwest comes and says, "Hey, I need you to cool my bar.
Give me your
I
kidney.
also need your kidney. Yes, I was gonna say that.
Because he's Locke's dad. From
I
Lost.
hate this actor. He's so creepy. I was like,
So weird.
it's Locke's dad and the bad guy from Newsies. I can't, like...
Isn't it weird that he's not a villain? He's so
I
slimy.
know.
And he
He's-
gets out of airport limo service at the front door of this bar, which is like one of the weirdest weirdest prop decals imaginable.
I thought for sure he was going to turn out to be evil just because it was that guy. I was
Yeah,
like, he's
yeah.
going to turn on
Yeah,
Patrick.
He
That's what I
does.
thought.
He does kill a man.
Yeah.
Well,
but,
so do several people.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I didn't see anything.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
That's that Missouri charm.
Can we
So
talk
yeah,
about, you want to talk about that right now?
Sure.
sure.
Because I think that's like one of the weirdest. It's like this movie is so intensely white, and that like the ultimate resolution is like 4 white business owners finally got their town back, which is so rudely taken.
After
from-
like 25 acts of extreme white terrorism, like white on white bombs, like everywhere, like huge bombs.
the cops let them walk away because they just charmingly go, "I didn't see anything."
Yeah.
Did you see? And they go around to each
They
guy like,
laugh.
"Hey, did you see anything?"
Hey, you're all holding shotguns, and this man has multiple gunshot wounds. But forensic science isn't a thing.
No,
at
they
this
ditched the shotguns. Like they all
Oh,
like
yeah,
they had the
put
whole
him in, like, a
system.
bin.
The old prospector took them out to
Yeah.
like gun disposal. That was,
Emmett's house.
but like the fact that then after all that like they don't even. I mean, you have to assume those guys are not sleeping most nights after that. Like, I mean, it's really. It's really a dark moment.
You know,
to
but the
leave
movie plays it
literally
off. The movie
everyone.
plays it off like it's charming as hell.
Yeah.
Like, we just murdered a man in cold
They all
blood.
like
Doc's
they all
cool
wink at
with
each
it.
other
Yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah, Doc is cool with it. Which
who, by the way, has no other name in the credits. Is it Doc?
Yeah, they say her name in the movie, but like in all the like credits and the IMDb, she's just Doc.
Yeah.
Like I think they said her name was like Dr. Elizabeth Clay or
Winston.
something
It was,
ridiculous
it was.
like that. Yeah.
They might have said that. I don't know.
I don't remember. Kelly Lynch as Doc. Yeah,
Yep.
she was pretty good actually. I thought.
She was.
You're like, no, she wasn't.
Babe doctor at rural hospital.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. It's like a very.
Can you be a doctor for one scene and
she
then
did
just
something
wear a
right
dress?
before this
That was
movie.
fine, but she was just so skinny that I was like, I felt like I could see her chest bones like popping out. It was, like not great. And she had to be even skinnier than that in real life because the camera, adds 10 pounds or whatever.
In
I
two
don't know.
ribs. It's really weird.
Yeah. But yeah, she was okay, I guess.
It's not giving her a ton to work with.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
like one
yeah.
of the early scenes, somebody like tries to hit on someone by asking if they can go nipple to nipple.
Oh yeah, strong. That was
Oh,
good.
yeah,
To which she said, "I can do that without you," which implies she can put her own two
Nipples
nipples
together.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess.
To form Voltron. No, this movie starts out problematic from the get-go.
How dare you?
hey, we're just trying to have fun here, okay?
Yeah. Well, they're trying to have fun with Double Deuce as well, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of like, I'll pay you if you pay me $20, you can touch my girlfriend's tits.
That was really creepy.
Yeah, and then the guy's like, I don't have $20.
After a weird, just molesty scene.
Yep.
Boom. 3.5
Which
minutes.
I mean, I guess
And
if
the
you,
guy's like, yeah, touch him.
if you're trying to show
So
that your
gross.
place is a shithole that needs cleaning up, that's an effective scene.
yeah.
So that, you know what, we can chalk up that horrible sexist scene to efficient screenwriting.
I mean, it kicks off an entire crazy fight.
It does. But there was problems for this movie, and her being rail thin is maybe one of them. Like, it's kind of terrifying. Like, she looks like Skeletor.
Yeah, I think like that was somehow their way of showing that she was like a good girl, like because like the other girls all had like their boobs out and stuff, and she just like didn't have any. Like I don't know, it was weird, but no, she's very pretty. But if you look at pictures of her today, she looks better than she does in this movie because she like doesn't look emaciated. Like
Yeah.
I mean,
Also, the hair.
no body
The hair,
shaming,
you
no
guys.
body shaming.
Do you think? I mean, I could also see
Cocaine's
that
a hell
having
of a drug.
something to do with that. It's Patrick Swayze as the lead, and he's not. Like, besides the fact that it said 30 times in the movie about how small he is.
Yeah.
That like which I kind of appreciate as like a tack rather than like putting Tom Cruise on an apple box or
Yeah.
two. It's like
Right.
just saying like, no, smaller guy. This is what the point of this like the
Right.
role is.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's smaller and that's okay, but to maybe not look at like weird on screen, they had to find like a petite woman to be opposite
Sure,
him, so
sure,
it wasn't.
yeah.
I think
just, like,
absolutely that's part of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
like a
unless-
justified casting in this movie, and also their gross misuse of Keith David.
Oh my God, Keith David's
yeah.
Keith David from Missing in Action 3, don't forget.
Yeah.
Keith David from everything.
He's hiding in the background of a couple scenes, yeah.
Yeah, which we were talking about, this is the whitest movie, and I'm like, but Keith David is in this movie, and he is ruined.
Well,
He's
yeah,
not.
apparently the original cut of the film was like 3 hours long.
Whoa.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
50% more like giant house bombs.
Yeah, well,
You want to know what Tinker's up to in his spare time?
well, there was a whole subplot with Keith David's character that ended up getting cut
People
out.
being racist, or
Yeah, so they came in to the Double Deuce, like him and his girlfriend, a black couple, and then like there was an extra fight scene basically where they cause a whole fight.
we don't take
and then,
kindly to your.
Yeah, but then like Patrick Swayze becomes friends with him and hires him as the bartender.
Let's go as a
So
white
that
savior.
got cut out. Yeah,
Yeah.
Finally,
but they figured they saw that they could cut out that entire plot line and the movie wouldn't be any different other than him
it's
showing
still
up
white
randomly.
people and like, oh my God, like this rich dude in town is ruining our cars.
oh my god.
He ruins a lot of cars.
Oh my god, so many cars.
So before we kind of spin off in more directions and we lose the things, let's talk about the central kind of conflict of this movie.
It's classic 80s villain problem.
Yes.
Rich guy wants to ruin all the fun.
The dean.
That's right, exactly. The dean of the city is after everybody. I mean, that's basically what it is.
That's it. That is what it is.
I was like,
He's
it's
a
a
good guy. He's just trying to help the community. You know, if it weren't for him, they wouldn't have J.C. Penney.
That's right.
Coming on its way.
Yeah.
Ask anybody. Ask anybody.
If it weren't for him taking a slice out of everybody's profits, you know, they wouldn't even have like
There
the
would be
great
a-
deals of J.C. Penney.
There wouldn't be a potential of J.C. Penney. Which,
Yeah.
okay, well, let's get into this right now because I think that that's one of the things that's actually kind of great about this movie is that the villain is not like he's like typical white guy evil, like rich white dude evil.
He's pretty insane, though.
No, he is
a sociopath.
No. Yeah, no. But like for an 80s movie, like he's not that far from
The dean wasn't like, let's bomb Animal House.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he kills. This is an action movie. He kills people, right?
Yeah.
But like his motivations are so pedestrian and they're so like capitalist. Where I think that like the scene where it takes the piss out of him, where like it's pathetic when he's like, "We wouldn't have a J.C. Penney if it wasn't for me," and it's like it's almost like I think that that's one of the things that makes this movie have staying power and being a bad movie that's fun to watch. Is that it's not self-aware, but it is like I don't know what it is, but it's something about him being a villain and him being a shitty villain.
Yeah. I think the filmmakers were definitely self-aware of what they were making.
Mm-hmm.
I bought the Shout Factory Blu-ray.
Oh, nice.
And there's like this whole like hour-long making of, and they have interviews with all the actors. And one of the things was Kelly Lynch was like, she got the script and she was like, I'm a doctor, but then I'm in a skirt like the rest of the time. And producer Joel Silver was like, listen, like we're making what's going to be the greatest drive-in movie of all time. And I
that's
feel like,
interesting.
yeah, I feel like
I
that's
think
actually
that
what
is
it
correct.
That's what it turned out to be.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's
I
not
think
that doctors can't wear skirts.
right.
though.
No. But I mean,
Just
it's
to
like-
wear scrubs the whole time.
Yeah.
Allowed to buy her own clothes.
It should be like Dirty John. Just show up to parties in scrubs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that there's something about him being like the intro to this villain is him listening to Shaboom and then
so
driving
crazy.
erratically.
that is so crazy. That scene.
I have a couple of young children, so I see most things through a Pixar Cars lens. So I had my jaw was on the floor when he's driving around to Shaboom, which is my son's second favorite song.
And that's
Yes.
a great song.
It is.
I mean, that scene is nuts, but it's like a great way to just show like he's like
This dude
is
doesn't give a fuck.
This is my fucking town. I can
Yeah.
do whatever I want.
Yeah.
I can drive on the wrong side
I
of
can
the road.
I can almost crash my car and not even give a fuck. Yeah. He didn't even like swerve out of the way of that Patrick Swayze's car.
Nope.
He was just like, whatever.
It's weird. It's also just kind of like instead of like a home invasion movie, it's a bar invasion movie. Like everyone just gets, everyone just gets like ticked off for like no reason. Then the logical extreme is they're willing to murder strangers in retaliation for like not having their shitty bar, like or I should say like their front for their side hustle, like taken away from them.
Yeah,
It
he
just
got mad
seemed-
that his nephew got fired from being a bartender or whatever.
Well,
Like,
and
that's
admits
the-
that he sucks, that he's like, is an unemployable dude, and he's also super wealthy. He could give him a sham job,
right.
certainly. Like,
Yeah, he doesn't need
That's
to be a
the thing that
bartender.
doesn't make any sense of like I'm Wesley. Wesley is the name of our villain.
Brad
here.
Wesley.
Brad Wesley.
Brad Wesley.
It's not like he owns a competing bar.
yeah.
It's not like he has like he just doesn't like.
he just wants to control.
He owns the
everything.
liquor suppliers, or he can tell them not to deliver
Sure.
or something.
And then I guess that he was also married to Doc at one point.
no, just had a thing.
I just had a
Yeah,
thing with
just
her.
a thing.
wanted
Okay.
to be.
I
Probably
felt
an
like that was a
infatuation.
late addition. I don't know, like because at first I thought that he was gay because they have him with the other girl at the pool party, and he's wearing like a bright pink bathrobe, and he's saying to that girl like, "Oh, look at this guy over here! Like he's so cute. I love having him around." Or like,
Oh,
did you
that's
not
right,
catch
yeah.
that? Yeah,
That's
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
like
I
that
was like-
giant. It was like, look
I was
at
just
this,
like, that's a weird
homunculus
scene.
I was like,
over
oh,
here.
is he like the evil gay guy, and this girl's like his beard or whatever, you know? And but then it was like he was abusing her, and then like he made her dance naked, and then
Yeah.
it says he had a thing for it was all over the place. But you know, whatever, sexuality's fluid, so whatever. But like,
Wesley doesn't know what's up.
yeah,
Yeah.
It is weird to like. the abuse in his house that like there's never direct retribution for. As a matter of fact, they have her dance on stage at the club after that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a very weird scene.
There's a lot of like girls jumping up on tables and dudes being like, "Let her party."
But Patrick Swayze's just like really nicely like, "Get down, please.
Yeah.
Please get down. Be nice. Be nice.
Be nice." So what has happened is that Patrick Swayze has been hired to come calm this place down. The double deuce.
Yeah.
Yeah, he fires everybody that's corrupt, which was kind of fun.
Which I do like the scene.
They also get their last paychecks though.
Yes,
Of
they
course,
do.
yeah,
They do.
it's not a monster.
It's not a government shutdown.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he drives in. He gets hired in, and this guy Locke's dad is like, "Well, when can I expect you?" And he's like, "I'll be there when I be there." Like he's just like, "I'm like the wind." I'll show
But you
up."
also find out that he buys a new car in every town because people just smash his windshield every night.
Which is an amazing detail.
Yeah.
Like, that is world building at its finest.
I did like that.
in a shitty action movie.
The guy who's hiring him is like, "I got your plane ticket right here." And he's like, "I don't fly on planes. Too dangerous." Yeah. And I was like, is it?
It's the safest way to travel.
More dangerous than driving?
I like when he gave his car away at the first town to like a homeless black guy. He was like, "Here you go." And the guy's like, "What do you think I am, a valet?" And he's like, "No, I'm giving you the car." He's like, "Oh, okay."
He did no questions asked. He's just
Sweet,
like, all right.
yeah.
That's like one of those are actually two of like many like what should be great comedic bits in this movie are like his car repeatedly getting destroyed.
Yeah.
They're totally stepped on by the fact that Patrick Swayze is not funny and it is like not a funny movie at all. That like we're like this idea that every single time they show that old Buick or whatever it is, it's just like there's a stop sign through it now. Like there's something like even more fucked up about it that he won't get fixed. It's just and then handing that guy the keys to the car, but it's just like I was like.
It's like a piece of wood. Like it's like oh, look at my improv team.
Well,
It's
he spends like half the movie standing with his arms crossed.
Not losing his
just
temper.
looking at things. And then the other half of the movie,
pants billowing in the bar winds.
and the other half of the movie just like kicking people in the face.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, or this shitty comeback line. He says, "The guy's like, I thought you'd be bigger." One of those times, and he goes, "Opinions vary." It's like, and then like walks away. It's in the trailer.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that line was like, someone was like, "Oh, that's gold. That is gold."
But what about the part where the one guy's like, "What if someone says my mom's a whore?" And he's like, "Well, is she?"
That's pretty good.
I mean,
That's like in the same scene. I think.
it probably is.
The takeaway line of the movie is when he's getting stitches and Doc's like, "Hey, do you want a local anesthetic?" And he's like, "No, pain don't hurt."
Yeah. Folksy
I don't-
wisdom.
I don't know who said this because I didn't write it down, but I wrote down the quote: "Does a hobby horse have a wooden dick?"
Oh yeah.
Like
that's
somebody
good.
asked something like,
Yeah,
and he's
sure.
Like
like,
there's a
yeah.
bear shit in the woods kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Does
yeah.
a hobby horse have a wooden dick?
I can't remember. Was that Red who said that? I can't remember.
I don't know who said it. I don't know why I wrote
There's
it.
some very amazing lines in this film.
That's probably a whole subgenre of like 80s action movies are like, turns of phrases like that. We're
Yeah.
like, we're going to make our own version of just a bear shit in the
It's gonna be
woods.
iconic. Yeah.
Yeah. This is going to be...
Now I have a
Ours
machine
is
gun. Ho ho
hobby.
ho.
Yeah. What about the one in the climactic fight scene at the end? That's a pretty great line too. That's one that I was like, I feel like I've heard this line and not seen the movie before.
If you want them to know how tough and manly you are while fighting a tough and manly guy, the best thing to yell out is probably not,
I used to fuck guys like you in prison.
Oh my god! That was so good.
I was like, what?
And so we're talking about
Lucky
Wesley's.
you, I guess. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
I would have been like, no, we gotta stop the fight and talk about this. Hold on.
Main enforcer, Miley Cyrus's dad, Billy Ray Cyrus.
But not really.
Not really. It's a guy who wears the Canadian tuxedo most of the movie.
he has like a bunch of earrings. I think that's another reason that I thought maybe like they were gay together, like because he
Oh, like,
always followed him around. Yeah.
Well, and he's always
Cool boy.
like my prize fighting boy.
yeah.
Like the Canadian tuxedo crucifix earring boy.
But anyways, like, why do you brag about that? Like, I
No,
guess
who knows?
just because it's like a show of, you're like, well, I'm not gay, but I fucked men in prison to show my superiority.
It was
or
about
something?
dominance, yeah.
Ay. Still, I just wish Patrick Swayze had just stopped fighting and been like,
I'm not locked
sorry,
in here with
excuse
you.
me? Yeah.
You're locked in here with me.
Yeah, exactly.
Pardon me, what? Yeah.
Well, he doesn't get a chance to ask that question because Patrick Swayze rips his throat out
Yeah.
Yes.
with his bare hands.
Just like we've been set up to see that in the
Yes.
beginning of the movie.
as what we've kind of seen is that Swayze got intimate with a lady.
Rip.
Yeah. Got intimate with a lady, did not know that she was married, and then the husband showed up, wanted to kill him, and Patrick Swayze returned the favor.
Yeah,
Killed
and
the gentleman
it's
and
been
then ran
haunting-
away.
It's been haunting him.
Haunting
ever
him.
since.
Yes, he did not want to kill. And so he's like, oh, my tiny dancer limbs. Like, they're too dangerous. I can't fight. I have
Well,
to
yeah.
drink coffee and look at people.
And he stops himself from ripping out Brad
I need-
Wesley's
like,
throat.
He's so tempted. He's licking his
He's
chops.
got his
right
fingers
before he
like,
does
I'm
it.
gonna do
You
it.
know what's going to stop me from moving so fast that I have to kill people? Billowy pants. If I wear billowy pants, I can't move fast enough to kill.
It's the drag.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I forgot to look it up, but were these like full nudity butt shots really them at all, or are these all doubles?
I think
Oh,
it was
I
him.
don't know. I'm
He
assuming
had
it was
one,
him.
she had one. Or no, Tyler, you watched the edited version, so you
Well,
didn't see it.
I've seen this movie
okay.
many
He
times.
doesn't know there's butts or boobs in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tyler,
wasted your
watched
entire
it, you said
10-year-old.
on,
Oh, I watched it through the AMC app because like I didn't want to find my DVD of it.
okay.
And there's another thing that I would treat our listeners to is that Riff Tracks, which was like the Michael J. Nelson offshoot of Mystery Science Theater. They like if you played in sync, it was a thing like when I was in college. Like you play like a video file and then you play the audio file, and like it would basically be like Mystery Science Theater for modern movies. There was one for Roadhouse that I think is one of the finest pieces of comedy that you could ever enjoy.
That sounds great.
does sound great.
That's one of the best things. So I watched that a lot. But I did watch this through the AMC app as I flew home last night. I had about 90 minutes to get it in. And so it was completely edited. And so like all of the swearing was cut out, and I was like, wait, like there was a weird butt shot here that it's not happening right now.
Where's that weird butt?
Where's that weird butt?
So what did he do in prison? Was there a fun replacement
There
line?
wasn't a fun replacement.
He probably says, I used to kick guys like you in prison.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
Lame.
Or something stupid
yeah.
like.
I watched
used
it
to
on a
buck guys.
DVD from the LA Public Library.
Ooh.
Thanks.
There you
LA.
go, supporting the libraries. That's great. That's great.
They have Roadhouse too. Also, I already put it on hold.
Nice. It was out. It was unavailable. or this is some weird like gift of the Magi thing where you guys all put it on hold
That's
for
right.
each other. I don't know if that's how that works.
I already
But
cut off all my hair.
So should we talk about Sam Elliott?
I know we haven't even.
Oh my
mentioned
God.
it yet.
Academy Award nominee.
Yes.
he is such a fucking hunk in this movie.
He
It's
is.
crazy.
Yeah, I was like, wow.
Wade Garrett.
As great as Swayze is, I honestly maybe would have also enjoyed seeing a whole movie about Sam Elliott's character
Agreed.
About
with
Wade.
that amazing hair.
Wade Garrett, yeah.
I've never seen Roadhouse 2, but fingers crossed for you.
Yeah,
It is
I know,
a Sam
I know.
Elliott prequel.
And I could actually kind of understand what Sam Elliott was saying in this movie. I think like one of the only other movies I've seen him in is A Star Is Born. I did not know what he was saying the entire time.
The funny thing about this movie is how it has very strong direct ties to The Big Lebowski.
I was thinking the same.
Yes, because Jackie Treehorn is Wesley, who is the main villain in The Big Lebowski, and Sam Elliott, who is the stranger in The Big Lebowski, is also in this movie.
There is a spirit guide.
There's
for,
a spirit guide, and he kind of plays the same role in this movie.
Yeah.
He is Dalton's sage bouncer Merlin.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that, with this character
Bouncer
and
Merlin
like.
is a great Bouncer Gandalf. Obviously, you shall not pass. I mean,
I like. I do love that he like shows up and is immediately in a fight like right away.
Yeah, and is so nonplussed about it, where he's just like, "Well, I gotta kick somebody's ass."
Yeah.
Here we go, mijo.
Miho, yeah.
Miho.
I thought like with this character and some of the interactions, like this movie does like a weirdly good job at like world building.
It's
Of like the bouncer world.
I was thinking about this in that like there's so much of John Wick in the DNA of this movie.
Yeah.
Of like just having him like having to buy like thinking about. This guy's car would get completely fucked up. So like, he hides his car and does this thing, and like
how he's been hired at this seemingly random bar, but then he like knows the guy leading the band.
Yep,
and they're like clearly know each other really well.
Name's Dalton.
Yeah, that was great. We should talk about the music too in this movie.
Yeah,
but
no, it is like that. Like there is, it's one of these things where it's like, I guess. It's kind of the jokes we were making when we first started the podcast of like, I guess there's like famous bouncers because this movie makes you feel like that it's a thing. Like,
yeah,
that's
exactly.
a thing that it's probably true.
Yeah,
not that Dave Bautista is number 2 on the list. But I think that I agree. Gandalf should be up there.
It's amazing, like how charming Sam Elliott's character managed to be that I somehow didn't even hate him when he said to Patrick Swayze about Kelly Lynch, "That girl has entirely too much brains to have an ass like that."
God.
And I was still like, Sam Elliott, you know, like,
Yeah.
he's pretty cool, you know, like even after he said that. So.
Well, I think that also the way that he delivers that line is like he's an old timer and he's been working in shitty bars,
Yeah.
and like it's like. But no, I totally agree. Like, there's a
And also
charm
to
to
his-
it that shouldn't.
Yeah,
work.
exactly.
But it
And
does.
also, like, to his friend, was like, they're clearly in a relationship. And
Yeah.
he's like, really? You have to say, like, a dickish comment about, like, also my girlfriend, basically. It's like,
and make a joke that maybe wasn't a joke about how he wants her for himself.
Yeah. Yay.
I'm gonna fuck your girlfriend, Miho.
I mean, he does have a motorcycle, so
He does.
is that cooler than a Mercedes?
Well, yes. It depends on who gets the motorcycle when he fucking dies.
Oh, I know
'Cause he
that was
does.
sad.
that is a crazy thing. Do you think that, and Patrick Swayze drinks Dalton, I should say, not real Patrick Swayze, he drinks beer only with Miho Sr., right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the other times he only has like
He's
coffee.
getting coffee.
Yeah.
Besides, so, but like they do drink a couple of beers, right? He's like, let's go to beer. So like, but then right after that is when Miho Sr. dies, right? That's when he's.
Sad.
So I'm just saying, it's kind of like if in a horror movie, having
was
sex in a
Tails.
horror movie, it's like if he had just stayed sober the entire movie.
Yeah. You can't drink with Sam Elliott.
No,
That's the rule.
It's the cosmic forces against you.
Which the dude, same thing.
Oh.
Bad shit happens once you drink with a stranger.
Yeah.
But not to him, at least.
Well,
fortunately.
nihilists. You lose a Donnie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is one of the things that's actually like kind of evil from Wesley. So like some shit's going down. We can
Super
talk into
evil.
like how he's squeezing out the town, which are
With so many explosions.
which-
What
which-
was the explosion
they're-
budget for this
They're
movie?
they're insane vignettes. But one of the things he says is like basically at some point he's like, we're either gonna kill Doc or we're gonna kill Wade. And choose now, we're gonna flip a coin. And Wesley is like, Dalton's like, fuck you, I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm gonna do blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I flipped the coin, I'll let you know how it turns out. Click.
Yeah.
And then Wade kind of like gets into it shows immediately at the bar, and he's like, "Oh no, Doc, because Wade's fine." And he
Well,
comes
and
back.
it's a good cop, like a
Yeah.
trick because he comes in and he's
Yeah.
already beat up, and you're like,
Yeah,
oh,
so I
shit.
thought, that was it. He
Yeah.
escaped, or they would just beat him up.
So
real bad.
he gets back to the bar, and he has a fucking knife in him, and it just says, "It was Tails." And it's like
That's some Joker
like,
shit.
no, like that's some amazing '80s action movie like villain shit.
Yeah.
Like it's good.
Also, I think we need to talk about the Daylight Public
Monster
truck.
Oh my god! Which holy shit is Bigfoot?
Yeah, no, it is.
That
Bigfoot.
is legitimately the monster
really?
truck, the world famous monster truck, Bigfoot.
Bigfoot.
Right?
we all know what we're talking about here,
Oh, I
friends.
totally know what you're talking about.
I thought you're probably younger than I am. It was there was. I don't know. I can tell you 2 monster trucks by name. There's
Gravedigger?
Bigfoot and you got Gravedigger. Oh well, 3 if you count Truckosaurus, the
Yeah, right,
robot.
right, yes.
Okay. Anyway,
Okay, fair.
you'll pay for the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge. kids are just $5. So I've never been to a monster truck rally, but I would like to go now.
I have been. It is fun.
It's like oh really?
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later. There's Bigfoot in this movie. Like, it is also kind of weird. There is a bit of, I guess, Chekhov's Bigfoot in this also. that like this guy shows up, he's just driving a monster truck around town, like brings one of his buddies to the Double Deuce in the monster truck. We're like, that monster truck's got to roll over cars, right?
Otherwise, why is it?
Kick out the rope ladder. Like, we want some G&Ts.
Enter not the used car salesman from before, but the upstanding new car salesman.
He
from
sells
around
station
town.
wagons and only station wagons to the
He has a
upstanding
friend
people of
in the
Missouri.
FBI.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Who, yet he doesn't call him.
Never called him once.
I just thought that was insane that like it seemed like the entire town was there just to watch this happen.
Yeah, like it's
Hey,
gonna. Well, everyone's
Dalton's there, Doc is there. They're all like, "What?"
If I hear Bigfoot's gonna crush some fucking cars, I'm there.
He drove through the entire dealership.
But
Like,
yeah.
he destroyed the building and all the cars.
Yeah,
Like,
again, I guess he also owned the cops because they're not going to try to stop this.
Yeah.
yeah. Yikes.
not a lot of cops in this movie.
Not a lot
No.
of cops in this movie.
They show up at the very end. I
Yeah.
think.
They mentioned that he owns the cops because at some point they're like, "We got to report him," and they're
Yeah.
like, "Report him to who? Like he owns everybody."
Right,
It
that's true.
still seems like a confrontation to prove that, like, an attempt seems worthy, even if it means like
Right.
we do pay the cost. It
Yeah,
seems
it's like I understand he's paid you, but he's driving a monster truck in,
In
broad
broad
daylight
daylight.
in front of the
Or they might just be
entire
like,
town.
okay, listen, one of your guys has got to take a fall for
Yeah.
this. Probably the monster truck, whoever the monster truck is registered to, has got to.
I'm surprised there
Someone-
wasn't like a
someone
fucking
needs at
TV
least
crew.
30 days of community service
Yeah,
for this
that's
one.
it. Sweep up the glass.
That scene was insane. I was just like,
Which is before he meets his girlfriend's uncle,
Yeah,
who runs a auto parts
repair, yeah.
store
Red, yeah.
that's conveniently in the parking lot of the bar.
yeah.
That was crazy.
there are probably like 50 barrels of gasoline in that small shop because
Why wouldn't there be? Cars need gas.
That's
sure.
It's like, how many times has this happened to you? You go into O'Reilly, you're like, I don't know, there's something wrong with my car. And they're like, did you put gas in it? Have one of our barrels. And they roll it out to the parking lot for you.
You can have these free shop towels with purchase or barrel of oil. Is there, I want
that
to know what
safe?
the layout of this town is. 'cause
Yeah.
It's,
There's the outskirts where there's a roadhouse in the middle of nowhere with an auto parts store.
Across the street.
And then somewhere there's the dealership that
Yeah.
looked like it was in the middle of a town.
Well,
Yeah.
like,
And
it was
the
all
mall
it was
and
all
future site of
it was all
JCPenney.
actually shot in California, so like that auto shop is in like it was shot like up past like the Hastings Ranch area and things like that. And then like that dealership's in the fucking valley.
Yeah.
Like
And then the houses, like he ends up living in like this barn that he rents from this
Sure,
guy.
from
Emmett. But it's
bitchin'
a pretty
apartment.
nice
Oh my
apartment in the
God.
barn.
Yeah.
He was like, nobody wants it. I was like, what? Nobody wanted that? Okay.
$100 a month?
Yeah.
$100 a month is his
But
rent.
it just happens to be conveniently across the like possibly man-made pond or lake that the bad guy
That
lives
Wesley
directly
lives
on the other
across.
side, so they can look at each other all
Yeah.
the time and see like when the other one's having sex. You know?
That was really creepy. That scene
my
where he's just
God.
watching them fuck on his roof.
Like,
Also,
if
he
you're
was on
living
the
on the roof,
Yeah,
you're
okay.
like-
I was gonna
And
say.
he's just like, yeah, fucking.
Yeah.
Well, he's clearly obsessed with the human form. You know, he likes his homunculus. He likes his hunky Crocodile Dundee. He likes Patrick Swayze.
Hunky Dundee.
He likes Doc.
He's got that necklace, man. Yeah.
He does.
It's like it's like a raptor claw.
You know what? You know what? I think that there's nothing more.
Fucked a raptor in prison.
I used to fuck dinosaurs like you in prison. I smuggle the DNA out in shaving cream cans.
Or it
There's
was
some-
time jail. That's also possible. It was in the negative zone or
There's
something.
something funny about the masculinity of this movie and how like Dalton is not like. There's a lot of people thinking like you should be way more manly, and he's like, no, like I'm much more calculated and collected. And I think that like
I'm reading
the-
Legends of the Fall or whatever while
Yeah.
I'm sitting staring out my window.
Don't forget Tai Chi in the morning.
Yeah,
Never.
where Wesley's just looking at it and be like, this fucker. Like he wants to, like Wesley wants to have sex with him. I think is the subtext of a lot of these things. But I think that the foil to Dalton is Billy, who is Sexy Dundee, as you point him. And I love the part of the movie where it's like, masculinity at its most toxic and bare is him after he's blown up Emmett's house and riding on an ATV, just being like, ah.
That was insane.
And it's like this movie knows what's up. Like that is what that is.
Yeah, there's that scene where he's just like across the pond, looking across like on his ATV.
He's just riding an ATV like, I just murdered and killed and I'll never die.
Also, Emmett's house had just as many barrels of gasoline in it as the auto shop. And then at one point for retaliation, Patrick Swayze sends the car to what's the guy's name? Wesley's house, and he like stabs the gas down
with the knife that killed Wade.
Yeah, so the car drives
There's symbolism,
by itself.
Eliz. Symbolism.
But somehow the car flips over just right, and then also apparently was full of gasoline, like many barrels, because it explodes in like the huge like.
Well, as we established, he frequented Red's auto shop, and so he bought some barrels of oil. Of course.
On credit.
And I was like, what? I was like, these guys are totally trying to murder him, so I guess he has license to just go and fucking murder them back.
Yeah, he kills 20 people, and I don't know how meaningful it is by the time he finally gets to Wesley that he doesn't rip his throat out.
Yeah.
Right. It's kind of like, because what happens
killed
is,
a lot of
what
people.
happens is like, so like Wade gets there after like the heads or tails bullshit thing, and Wade's like, let's get the fuck out of this town, fuck this, and he's like, no, I'm gonna go check on her. And then so he races to the hospital, and she's like, because she'd seen him rip fucking Billy's throat out.
Not happy about it.
And she is rightfully not happy. Yeah, like she's just like, nope, like that's too violent for me.
That's a massive psychic wound.
And she was like, why are you even doing this? You're going to save them from him? Well, who's going to save them from you? And she's like crying.
Yeah.
I said chills.
So then he goes back and he's like, you know what? Fuck it. Fuck this. Wade, let's go. Mijo Sr., let's go to Mexico. And then he dead.
Mm-hmm.
It's a dark day. I mean, though there really is. There's also that thing also in the Man-Made Pond at the end where after he's floated Billy's body across the pond,
he drags him into the pond.
Like, well, by the way, though, so Doc is traumatized, rightly traumatized by that murder. Like when he rips up, violently murders this guy. Yeah. Like in a calculated and precise, bizarre manner that no one has ever done before or since except MacGruber.
Yeah.
And then the movie ends with them skinny dipping in same man-made pond. And they're fucking just like two pigs in a blanket.
Yeah.
They cannot be
like,
happy.
No, he's like, Doc, did you know that if you rip a man's essence out into in a swimming pool, that you can become immortal if you fuck in it?
That's what happened.
It's like she saw that death, and then she saw at least the evidence of him killing like at least 5 or 6 other goons in the house. Yeah, and somehow she just forgot.
I mean, more than that, she also witnessed him run as fast as a motorcycle.
That's right.
That was probably pretty shocking too.
I think it's time that we talk about
his legs turn into wheels.
I think it's time we talk about Tinker.
Talk to me about Tinker.
So Tinker is Wesley's henchman who only exists for being chubby comic relief.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
And like, and there's a point where like his goons go to confront Dalton, and Wesley's like beats the shit out of one of his guys, but because before he's like, who's gonna take responsibility? This is somebody's fault. Whose fault is it? And then Tinker, who's just a chubby dude wearing overalls and a hat, and he's like, I'll take responsibility. It was my fault. And Wesley just rubs his head and he's like, I believe you, Tinker. I believe you're sorry. And then he's like, but you, I'm going to kick your ass. And so like he's like this lovable oaf, I guess.
Well,
but he kills people.
Yeah, and then so when they finally get to Wesley's house, as if you didn't already know he was a horrible person, he's got an entire like basement museum of taxidermied animals.
Right.
There's a fucking walrus on the wall.
Including the polar bear from Lost is there.
It's pretty bad. Pretty bad.
And Dalton pushes that polar bear on top of Tinker.
And I was like, is he dead? Because they acted like he was dead.
Yeah, I think they thought he was
Polar bear
dead,
falling
yeah.
on him. But yeah.
And then later, everyone's like, so basically what happens is Dalton decides he's not going to rip Jackie Treehorn's throat out, or Wesley, because Doc shows up and he's like, I'm not going to kill.
Yeah, but then all the other, like, slightly less rich elitist white men come and decide to
shoot
take
the
turns
shit out of him.
shooting him.
Yeah, he's super dead.
He lets his guard down, and then Wesley pulls a gun, and then the red with all the oil barrels. Surprising, he didn't throw an oil barrel at him like Donkey Kong. Shoots him with a shotgun. The owner of the Double Deuce shoots him with a shotgun. Emmett shoots him with a shotgun. Which is a lot of shotgun
you
wounds.
You are so lucky we're not on top of scaffolding right now. I would totally smoke you with this giant oil.
And then the cops show up, and then I guess Tinker becomes a reformed man in this because he welches on his former boss. They're like, Tinker, did you see anything? And he's like, a bear fell on me.
Yeah.
He says the dumbest thing possible.
The bear fell on me.
I pooped myself.
I believe you, Tinker.
All right, Tinker.
I believe you, Tinker.
Yeah, boy.
So let's get to a topic that you brought up 20 fucking minutes ago.
Well, I was like, let's talk about the glue that holds this movie together.
The music.
The music.
Oh, yeah. Cody.
Mostly coming from, the Jeff Healey band.
Can I have to interject one thing? When I was in high school, we went to the House of Blues a lot. That's where a lot of the music for the young folks in Las Vegas was. And there was one point where I dropped my ID as I was walking into the venue as an 18 over shoulder or whatever. And I had very long blonde hair at the time. And the bouncer was like, hey, Jeff Healey. Healey.
Whoa.
What?
And I, being a Roadhouse connoisseur at the time, turned around. Process this information. And it was like, this bouncer loves Roadhouse.
The only possible explanation.
The only possible explanation where he's making a Jeff Healey reference.
Yeah, I mean,
to somebody with long blonde hair.
How many bouncers did this movie create?
I think a lot.
Probably.
Hey, if you're a bouncer out there listening to us right now, let us know your Dalton origin story.
I saw Roadhouse and wanted to be a bouncer.
I want to be a cooler.
Yeah. But
you never got to that level. You stayed a bouncer.
Yeah. Yeah, I cause more problems than I solve.
But yeah, the whole movie is like threaded together by awesome, like, Roadhouse music. Blues, every kind of like Southern blues rock song you could think of by the Jeff Healey band, performing all these great songs like On the Road Again and all sorts of stuff.
Sure.
And he's he's like this famous blues magician. Blues magician.
I made my sadness disappear. Pull my ex out of a hand.
He's a blues musician from Canada, and he is actually blind. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been so crazy if he was faking that. He should have seriously won an Oscar if he was it was like the greatest blind impression of his.
And
I
don't know if you guys saw in the credits too,
I did.
like fun fact that these songs were all produced by Jimmy Iovine.
And he's the music supervisor.
Yeah, which was nuts.
And he was the music supervisor, and he also got like a whole card in the credits, like to himself.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
he did.
The music supervisor usually not isolated like that in the credits.
Certainly not then, especially.
No,
Yeah.
yeah.
Crazy.
It was pretty crazy. I was like, what? I had no idea he was involved.
And
The other
like
thing
that first band too, whatever they're called, like Los Cora. I think they're called like
Los Corazones or
Corazones.
something like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Which scene? I don't know. I thought it was a better band, more interesting.
Yeah.
I liked that Jeff Healey, that Cody, he got a makeover when the Double Deuce got a makeover.
Yeah.
He went
Comb
from
your hair,
his,
Cody.
He like was able to like grow it out and like get a nice little kind of pompadour going on.
Well, he didn't have to have
Sad
like a
mullet.
chain link fence in front of himself anymore.
Yeah, like the Blues Brothers.
Yeah, maybe he started every
Glass
night.
bottles of a blind guy. Like that's
Yeah,
so
that's
messed
pretty
up.
fucked up.
That's why you need the best cooler in the biz.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things
Got some undesirables coming in the Double Deuce.
One of the things I enjoyed most, one of the things I enjoyed most about the movie is like every time we come back to the Double Deuce, it's like you see the evolution of it. Like, as he's doing his job, like suddenly it's got those really neon signs everywhere, and it's got a brand new like entrance. And
Well,
looks
like
totally
the
new.
thread of the movie is that Dalton standing up for what is right and what is just and what is fair gives the town the courage to stand up to Wesley.
have a nice bar.
Yeah.
Enjoy a nice night out on the town without fear of reprisal.
But it becomes so much more than that because a man of integrity gives them the courage.
Sorry, knives in the boots aren't allowed anymore.
Ay. Were they did you see in the special features, were they trying to set up something with the like more homely waitress that could also sing, and then she like came to his house and brought him food?
Oh, I don't think so. Yeah,
okay, because
that was just
like
I think
she was gonna be like a
more
main
important.
character, and then she just kind of disappeared.
I think she
The
was
singing-
just there to deliver exposition.
Yeah. The singing thing is
too bad
something.
because I liked her.
I liked
I
her
thought
too.
she was a cool
Yeah.
I was saying this before we started. She reminds me. She looks like this L.A. artist named Jenny O, who is like, and they look almost identical. Apparently, I did because I looked her up because I was just like, is that who I'm thinking of? She just looks. She is in a million things, but they're mostly TV things. But like, she started her career as a singer and has like she's composed for like film and TV.
Yeah, I saw that
That's
too,
crazy.
yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. I think that's like her singing was not like originally in the movie. Like that was something that came up on set because apparently like the Jeff Healey band, like they were saying that they would just like perform songs every lunch break because they had all their PAs set up and it was just like they were like, this is the most fun set we've ever been on. They were playing music all the time and rocking out, and then it kind of came from that she could sing. And yeah,
It's kind of cool. Like that actually might have been a fun set to work. Like if it was in an actual bar, like presumably they did just like
Film at a bar.
Yeah,
They did.
I mean, why not? Right? And then you just have like the whole thing is like basically here you gotta actually these people gotta actually get into character and you know.
So
just
have
do
some
their
drinks,
thing.
play some music.
Yeah.
Nobody's
Yeah,
actually
just-
probably drinking, but sure.
I mean they probably were back
Yeah.
then. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, it's pretty
But,
cool. Other like weird music tie-ins. John Doe from X is the bartender.
Yeah.
That's the like
Pretty
that's the
crazy.
other-
Pretty crazy.
his like kind of breakout role, I guess.
Yeah, one.
Call
There was one really funny story on the special features that I'll just relay really quickly.
Sure.
Apparently, Bill Murray is a huge Roadhouse
Oh
fan.
yes, he loves this movie.
And he is like best friends with Kelly Lynch's husband.
Okay.
And apparently, every time he's somewhere where Roadhouse is playing, no matter what time of the day, no matter what is going on, he'll call their house and be like, "Hey, your wife's fucking Project Swayze right now,"
Oh my god!
and then just hang up.
And his brothers do it to her too.
Yay.
I was like, "That's hilarious."
That is harassment.
Yeah, that's good. But they're friends.
No, yeah. So this movie is. We should get into this. This movie is not a good movie, but this movie is a fun movie, and there's something to it that has it has cult staying power in a way that I don't think that really is tangible in a lot of ways. Joel Silver was 10 years away from producing The Matrix. Joel Silver is the 80s action guru dude.
Yeah.
And I don't
like a lot of these guys came off of Die Hard to do
Yes,
this
absolutely.
project next.
Dean Cundy shot the movie.
Yeah,
Dean
he
Cundy shot
goes-
Jurassic Park.
yeah, exactly.
Cinematographer.
That's
There's a lot of
interesting too, because you saying that they were thinking of this as like the ultimate drive-in movie,
Yeah.
and like Jurassic Park is totally like the ultimate
Ultimate
monster movie, like
Yeah.
B movie. It's
Yeah.
like a weird. That's a weird like
Yeah.
I don't know career thread to have.
Yeah.
It's like
cool
it kind of has
corner
this,
to
this
have, but-
DNA of a lot of different types of movie that you love,
Right.
And it's weird because it's a movie about a bouncers in Missouri,
And it like gaslights you into thinking like, is this a thing?
yeah.
You're like, do people know who bouncers are?
But like I think that, and it's interesting.
Should
like,
I be a
bouncer?
bouncer?
Yeah.
Like the world building is specific in a way that, in the same way that like John Wick and the Hitman thing is specific, where it's like, oh, there's this whole world of cooling that you don't know about.
Yeah, right.
Like it
Secret
is,
hotels were only hitmen.
yeah.
live.
It's like, oh, these are the rules. When you're a cooler, you buy a new car in every city that you go to.
Yeah.
That's just the rules. That's what happens. And I think that it's that type of
Pretty cool rule.
yeah. It's that type of thinking and that type of like when your main villain's like bragging about bringing a JCPenney, like it's the most like banal thing in the world.
Yeah.
And I don't know. There's something about this movie that is just fun, and that the bad guys are. I guess it kind of redefines a different type of bad guy, even though like he's maniacal and crazy. Like he's just like somebody's grandpa.
Yeah. I was watching it like it feels like they tried to make like a serious version of like Caddyshack or something.
Yes.
Where it's like the same
God.
it's like the same
The
dynamic.
Dean!
Yeah, it's like the same like, like hero villain dynamic, but like they tried to make it like a drama instead of going straight for comedy.
No, it's like all these Korean war vets are trying to ruin our fun. Let's fuck them up.
Yeah.
That is sort of weird, right? Like if it was Caddyshack, it would be that like he's trying to develop this backwater into like a modern middle class suburb, right? Like that would be the thing. And his issue is the Double Deuce is a holdout, and this independent businessman is actually just trying to hold on to it and make it better, right? But he's trying to destroy it. And it would be he doesn't like this gross farmer across the with his sticky horses.
You guys are making it too country. Like you're standing in the way of progress.
He never shaves.
That would be a strong thread for that. Like a motivation for this character who's just a sociopathic wife beater who's like hates his nephew.
But it is the Caddyshack theme. You're
only
absolutely
son.
right.
Yeah.
Like it's the theme of like of these misfits and whatever. And it's like, but now there's mass murder involved.
I know. It gets real dark.
Yeah, could have been snobs versus slobs, but instead is sociopath the dance man.
Sociopath with an ATV and a helicopter and a fucking monster truck.
There's a scene where he just flies a helicopter around to piss off the farmer.
Yeah, like that's his opening like shot.
That's so fucking weird.
You brought up Elizabeth before the explosions.
Yeah,
the summer explosions. It does seem like there was a shift in. Or like if you go back and watch most movies from 1987 to 90, that's the payoff. Kind of like there's this period of like monster movies like your American Werewolves in London and The Fly and stuff like that, where like a big special effects payoff is kind of what the movie is building towards. But this was just like, we're gonna blow this building up. That's the thing. You guys are here, and like Terminator 2 is the thing that finally crushed that. But like it is weird. It's weird. I guess that's all I want. So I want to second what you were saying.
Remember when we watched like the second Dark Man and they had that explosion where they accidentally set off all the explosives at once and they like almost killed the people because it was so gigantic. Like all of these were so huge, and it was funny because we had horror movie night like a couple days ago, and some like in the movie a protagonist like just made a bomb even though he was like a doctor, and I was like, how did that guy know how to make a bomb? And then I made some joke about, I forgot that all white men just know how to construct dirty bombs. And this movie did not help that. Like, after that movie, I was like, what is it with this weekend? Like, it was
really funny because like both buildings were like, oh shit, they're on fire. Oh man, that's bad. Like it's on fire. And then all of a sudden it's just like, boom. Like, what?
And also that the prospector survived his house exploding.
And of course he was wearing like the classic
the
red
union
long
suit.
Yeah.
Swayze had to bring him out in his long underwear.
I'm fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
My favorite scene in the not my favorite scene in the movie, but one of the more hilarious scenes in the movie is like before that, where like Emmett, who's like this old prospector dude, discovers Dalton's car, and he's like it's played off as this giant reveal. And he's like, oh, what's this in the bar? And like, oh, Mercedes. He's not who he appears to be.
Who is this man?
Oh, he's the man we've already revealed him to be.
Yeah, like it puts this great pain into me. Like, oh, like he's he's rich.
Why don't they cut that scene out and put Keith David back in?
Yeah.
Put Keith David back. I feel
Let him
like
punch somebody.
maybe this is just my like white face blindness, but I feel like Emmett and Red could have been the same character, and it would have streamlined the movie a little bit.
Yes, why not? Yeah, like he comes in to get his car repaired after he stops by the Double Deuce the first time, and he says,
He's
"Actually,
like,
you got a room for rent.
Yeah.
Cool. Here's a sign up at your store."
And your niece is the hot doctor. You know,
Right,
like great,
yeah.
but instead there's like two separate guys and the car sales.
But how would you know if Wesley was rich if he didn't live by that weird pond?
I think they just wanted Wesley to get shot by 5 people at the end, so they had to have 5 different.
Yeah. what frontier vengeance can we construct here? You work, in white revenge movies, you work backwards from who's carrying the gun.
Also, weird lack of guns in this movie. Like a lot of problems that, like one of my wife's favorite genres of movies, like movies that could be solved by like modern convenience, like by cell phones, basically. Right. That like, but there's in this one you've got like, if all of these guys just had guns, like, by the way, like they all have guns.
They all have them,
certainly have
but they're
guns.
cosplaying as Grease characters. With
Well, especially the double deuce. Like even when it's cleaned up, there's a goddamn shotgun underneath that bar.
Yeah, right. And so like maybe it's just this thing like they're also like psychopathic. They've killed so many people that like now they're just into experimenting with knives. Throat ripping was just de rigueur at that time.
It's like no more hard liquor, only beer and switchblades.
Boot knives and on.
The knives were all designed by someone specially for this movie too.
Oh,
I
really?
noticed that in the credits. Yeah, I didn't write down the guy's name, but it was like knives, all designed by so and so.
Sharpie Stickman.
Is there anything whiter than that?
Yeah, I designed the knives for Roadhouse.
Oh wow.
Oh, he has a booth at a knife show, right? Like you can go to any of those like things at a weird expo center in like Pacoima. He's like signing autographs.
He's at the sports show. Yeah.
He's like, I call this one the cooler.
They're all called the cooler.
This is the knife that killed Sam Elliott. Oh man. Well, do you want to get to the rating system?
Oh boy. Yes. How many?
There's just so many things.
There's so many things. How many Bigfoot monster trucks would you give Roadhouse: The Story of Dalton?
The Story of Dalton. Out of 10, right? Yeah.
Yeah, out of 10 monster trucks.
Go
big or go home.
I actually want to give this one 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it looked great. I mean, you've got the Dean Cundy cinematography. Yeah. I was expecting it to be really terrible, and I actually had a really fun time with it. I'm not gonna probably like watch it again, but I just enjoyed the like, what the fuck is this movie? Like, what is going on the whole time? And then the one-liners are just so ridiculous. I just kept laughing to myself. Yeah, I had a good time. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm next?
Sure.
Well, I guess since I read that this was Bigfoot 7, the 7th incarnation of Bigfoot since 1975, I'll give it 7 Bigfoots.
Nice.
I'm gonna say, we never do halves, huh?
Give it half a Bigfoot.
I feel like 6 is low, but I feel like 7's too high. So yeah, I'll say 6.5. Big feet monster trucks.
You're giving it 6 Bigfoot and 1 Gravedigger.
Sure, yeah, if that's what that means.
One normal sized truck.
Yeah, 1 F-150.
No, actually, I thought it was like really good as like a period piece and just a very entertaining movie.
This is what the 80s were like?
Yeah. So no, it's really funny, and like the fighting and the action and is all entertaining and good, but yeah, I don't know, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, the fight choreography is pretty great.
Yeah.
Especially
it's actually
for
really
the
good.
time. Like there's a lot of group fighting, and it's not a lot of like a guy standing around a circle waiting to have his ass
Right.
kicked by.
Well, and it's fast. Like there's a lot of like it's a lot of
kicks.
I mean, well, the problem is not the problem. The great thing about it is that he's a dancer, and so it's choreographed in a way like it's a dance. Like
Even
that's
he
how they
can
move around.
understand.
Well, and it was like every time the bar would break out into craziness, it would be the Jeff Healey song, but like it would also be pretty good if you just substituted like Benny Hill, for like while they're all fighting each other. Like,
Yeah,
anyways.
that would be ridiculous.
Somebody just gave herself some homework.
I don't think that I'm gonna go to a 9, but I'm gonna just say 9 because like I do very much love this movie.
This is your movie. Just
So,
like you
like,
said.
how did you first see this movie?
Oh, that's a Blockbuster.
Oh, okay.
Blockbuster.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then I highly recommend seeking out the riff tracks. You will get increased enjoyment from it. It is one of these movies that is I would never argue that it's a good movie, but it is an enjoyable movie.
Yeah.
And
I would totally watch it if it was on
lot
TV.
there's a lot of stuff that's going on in it that you can't quite it's a bunch of, it's like an idea soup, and I think that something that we touched on that I never really thought about is like let's make Caddyshack a drama and then have Patrick Swayze rip people's throats out, and that's a pitch that I want to see.
Totally.
So yeah, I truly adore this movie, and I am terrified to see what happens next.
Yes, we are in for Roadhouse 2 next week, and I am as scared as well.
Yeah.
Like, why is there a Roadhouse 2?
There should not be.
Who made this movie? Why is it happening? Why are we watching it?
I really hope that there's a really creepy Billy with like one of those like vocoders. Like he lived in like
the guy from South Park.
Yeah. Well, like that's a question. That's a question. Is it going to have any connection to the first movie, or is it just going to be like another cooler doing his job?
That's a
Look,
great
I bet
question.
it's gonna be a cooler that's like, oh well, I trained under the great Dalton, you know, like where they like
Dalton Jr.
reference him. You
That
know,
would be cool.
like,
That
yeah.
would be cool.
Like, not his son, but just like a protege.
I wish it was just Keith David's story.
Yes. That would be Roadhouse 1.5.
Yeah, I wish.
But yeah,
The story
Him
from
with a
Keith-
kid.
don't forget that
The
we
kid
are like
bartender.
into the Swayze verse, and
Yeah.
we're gonna do Dirty Dancing right after this.
Yeah.
Havana Nights?
Well, that too, yes. And, so we'll see how these two are possibly connected.
Yeah.
Well, you know, to be the ultimate dancer, you have to be the ultimate cooler. It's all the same mentality.
That's true.
Those hot nights. You have to cool them down.
Yeah, you gotta calm down.
Oh man. Well, Josh, thanks for being here with
Yes.
us, man.
Oh, this was truly a delight. I had such a great time. And you made my last night too, because I got to watch Roadhouse.
Yeah,
A total
absolutely.
boner of a movie for 2 hours and 5 minutes.
That's a great tagline for the poster.
Good times, best friend.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, it was great having you here, man. I really appreciate it. In the meantime, Eliz, where can everyone keep in touch with us?
Please email us at sequelrights@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions for future franchises.
Or how Dalton inspires you to become a bouncer.
Your bouncer origin story. And then on social media, we are on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Sequel Rights.
And please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. We really appreciate all those stars.
And Josh, I forgot to mention, is there anywhere people can follow you?
Yeah, sure. You can follow me on Twitter at Josh Briggs, or on Instagram at the Commissioner J.
Sweet. All right. Well, that's it for Roadhouse this week. We're gonna go move on to a different bar.
We'll
different
see you at the
problems.
Triple Deuce.
The Triple Deuce. Yeah. See you guys next week for Roadhouse 2.
Look out across the field, see me returning. Smoke is in your eyes, you brought a smile. From the fireplace, where my letters to you are burning. You had time to think about it for a while.